Hey guys, today we've got this Yard Machines by MTD. Has a 148cc Briggs and Stratton flathead engine, the one with the plastic carburetor. Apparently this one just starts and dies. Weird story about this one actually. We found this one at the side of the road, completely abandoned. We asked the person whose property that it belonged to if this was their mower, if they were getting rid of it. They said it wasn't even their mower. They just came home and there it was, just sitting there. They had no idea. So we offered to take it away for them. And here it is. It'll start, it'll run, and then it'll die. Here, watch. I'll show you. Alright, well, let's try that again. Look at this. The hardware for the handle fell out. Official restart. Well, this is a bit of a conundrum. This mower works. I mean, it runs a little bit funny, kind of a little rough, but that could be just bad fuel. Either way, I think we should get this apart, clean out that gasoline, because I'm sure that it's probably not the greatest of gas. Change that primer bulb, because that primer bulb's pretty bad. And at least get this mower a bit of a cleaning. But aside from that, why would someone just abandon a perfectly good mower? I don't understand it. All right, well, let's get it inside, start taking it apart and start cleaning it up. All right, guys, after that little bit of a demonstration where it just wouldn't die, now it's finally doing exactly what I was saying it was doing. So watch. Prime it. Pull the bail, and we'll give her a pull. And there it goes dead. One more time. Start and die, start and die. Let's get that carburetor off. So before we work on this old MTD, I want to get it all cleaned off because honestly, it's pretty filthy. I want to pull the engine shroud because this rope is very frayed, so it needs to be changed anyway. Plus being all rusty, I think it'd be good to sand it down and give it a fresh coat of paint. Honestly, I think cleaned up, this mower will look pretty good. So let me get the pressure washer and get this all cleaned off. But before we get this all cleaned off, I'm going to take the shroud off. It's got a couple 10mm bolts on the side and another one at the front. Now it should just lift away. Now let's just loosen this so I can take the rope off. 7/16. Let me just get a flat screwdriver or pry bar. There you go, a small pry driver. Perfect. Rope's off. Engine shroud is off. Let's start cleaning this, but I want to bag that air filter. There, that should help protect it. Let's get this cleaned out. All right, turning on the pressure washer. It's just a little electric one. It's perfect for stuff like this. That mower cleaned up really nice. Let's see how this engine shroud cleans up. The only thing left to do now is scrape off that bottom and clean it. Looks like they ran over some rope too. Alright, I'll get all this cleaned off when I take the blade off for sharpening. Alright, let's scrape off some of this thicker grass. Take off the spark plug. So we can turn this without worrying about turning over. Normally stuff I do off camera. I thought I'd do it on camera for a change. Seems to be a lot of oil under here, but maybe it's old, maybe it's an active leak. Not exactly sure. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Now to quickly clean some of this muck off the top that's splashed up. And I guess I'm going to have to stop because it looks like it's starting to rain. And there you go, guys. That's how you clean a lawnmower. See you in the next one. No, I'm just joking. Let's get that thing inside, start working on it. Well, maybe not right away. Let's let it dry first. While this dries off, I'm going to turn off the camera. And as soon as it's ready to be worked on, I'll turn them back on and we'll get started on it. All right, see you soon. Hey, look at that, guys. Look what I found. A red subscribe button. If you made it this far into the video, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up. Comment below. I love to read your comments, and I try to reply to as many of them as I can, especially the early ones. All right, guys, back to the video. Gonna have to tilt the mower back, getting to the bottom of the tank. Have to lift it a little bit more. I hope you can see the water there. It's a fair bit in there. But the good news is, this is good gasoline. I can run it through a coffee filter, and I can siphon off this little bit of water in here and put this back in the mower, and it'll be good to test. All right, so let's separate the tank from the engine. So we've got a 1/2 inch bolt back here and a 10mm or 3/8 bolt right here. Now once we take these off, this bracket here is actually going to end up falling free. Plus there's a small spacer back here in behind that's also going to fall free. So before we move away, we're going to replace these by hand with the spacer and the bracket. That way we don't lose anything. All right, so first thing, let's take off this 10mm. Let's get this 1/2 inch. should be able to just pull this away. Maybe. There we go. Now we have a couple of linkages back here that we have to remove. So we're going to remove this 1/2-inch screw that's holding down the air filter. So we're going to remove this 1/2-inch screw. Sorry, flathead screw, not 1/2-inch screw. What's wrong with me? There we go. This is a long screw. Now, if your system had the auto choke, you'd see a small flap here that if you pushed on it, it would rotate open, and then once you released it, would close. If you have that, just replace this screw back in. I'm going to replace it just so it doesn't get lost. But if you do have the auto choke, you have to put this screw in so it works. That way you can test the mower without needing to put the air filter back on. Okay, let's remove this linkage. A little bit of a Z-bend to lift it up and kind of finagle it around. There we go. Perfect. And that's free. Now we can separate the carburetor from the gas tank. To do that, you have between 4 and 5, this one has 5 Phillips head screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just got an interesting notification. A package arrived for an upcoming video. Let me grab a Phillips screwdriver and take these off. Look at that filter. I don't think this filter's ever been changed. At least it still has the Briggs and Stratton logo. Yeah, this is the original filter from when they got this mower. It's completely deteriorated. Good thing I got new ones. Right, now let's take this all apart. Now when you put it back on, you're going to want to go on and go in a star pattern, crossing over, just so you can tighten it down evenly. Oh, this one's still holding on. Oh, sorry. This one's holding on. There we go. Oh, this one down here still is holding on. Not anymore, it isn't. Now be careful of the pickup tube back here. Not sure what that is, but I'm not going to worry about it. This diaphragm's bulging pretty bad, so I'm going to change it. This is actually likely what the biggest problem was, why it was sputtering. Not so much the water in it, but mostly this diaphragm, the way it's bulging. So let me change out this diaphragm and we'll get all this cleaned. I think I'm going to put this whole unit, after I pull this off, inside my ultrasonic. It's not a heated ultrasonic, and I use light detergents, so I should be able to clean this up quite nicely. All right, I'll see you shortly. I'll turn the cameras back on as soon as that's all done. So it's the next day. I had to give it a little bit of time because this gas tank, since it did have water in it, the gasoline and the water needed to evaporate. I used a little bit of WD-40 to displace the water. Then I hit it with some brake clean inside so that I can blast away any kind of residue, and the brake clean evaporates pretty quick, but I also did dump it out. That way I made sure that any excess was gone, and it dried overnight pretty good, actually. I do see a little tiny bit of rust forming in there, but honestly, nothing that really concerns me. Especially not like that home light generator. This one up here, but I'll show you this part here. This is where the carburetor sits. This part acts as the bowl. Gasoline is pumped up through the pickup and deposited into here. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of crud in there. I didn't clean this part out, but I did clean out the gas tank. So I'm going to take this quickly outside and blast that out with carb cleaner and have that quickly cleaned up. Then I'll show you how to make sure that this is level, and we'll get the carburetor reinstalled. Okay, that looks a lot better. Now we just want to make sure that this is nice and flush and level. So we turn it on its side, and using the straight edge, go corner to corner. We make sure we don't see any gaps. And then again the other way. And there's nothing. This isn't warped at all. This is good. Here's the new diaphragm and gasket and their respective part numbers. The original diaphragm and gasket definitely had seen better days. The carburetor cleaned up really nice, but I did notice one thing. One of the retaining tabs holding in the primer bulb has broken, but it doesn't affect the operation of the primer bulb at all, it seems. And it is in there pretty secure. But this will need to be changed before this lawnmower could be sold. So I will eventually change this out. Just not today, I don't have one in stock. But let's get this back installed. So the pickup tube goes here, in this hole here. Put it in, and you press till you hear a click. There. Next, we put the gasket on. Then we match it up with the diaphragm. And we carefully insert the fuel pickup inside the gas can. And we make sure that the diaphragm and gasket are lined up over the holes, which they are. And now we can put in the screws. 5 screws. Just going to drop them in for now. And we'll seat them in a second. Just going to seat them first and turn them in a couple threads. There we go. Carburetor's all the way down now. Now I'm going to snug them up just so they touch the carburetor, and we're going to do it in a star pattern, starting with this one. Just so it touches the carburetor. We don't want to snug them up yet. And we go to this one. Now this one. This one. And finally, this last one. There, they're all run down and touching the carburetor. Now we're going to snug them up, following the same pattern. And one more time. Good. Now they're all secure. Put in the air filter housing gasket. Elbow. Now I'm going to get this air filter oiled up. Part number, of course, right here. And now to get this installed. Be right back. Now let's get this back installed on the mower. Now to replace the pull rope on this, we're just going to flip it over. And I'm going to extract all the rope. Put a clamp on. There. I have my clamp in place, holding the reel. Now I can get the rope extracted. Right, then we get the needle nose pliers. Pull them out a bit. Scissors, and we cut off the end. Next, we torch it. Get it nice and hot. Stick the other rope to it. Make sure that's a nice seal. Now, we should be able to just draw it through. Just like that. Now that it's drawn through, we can measure what we need. Here we go, we'll cut it off to here. But first, mark it. Why do we mark it? Easy. We're going to pull through the rope. Back to here. So the mark's inside the spool or the recoil. Then we cut it off. Torch the tip. tie a knot. We'll put a slip knot on this side. And we release the clamp, let it roll into the slip knot, and now we're free to pull this apart and reinstall the handle. So we pull out the rope from the handle all the way, get rid of it. No garbage. Take the new rope, put it in, and you'll see it. As you can see, it's not coming through. You just take your needle nose, push the end of it, and there we go. Now we'll put another knot on this side. Pull it in. And as for that slip knot, it's now gone. And if you see it's doing this and it doesn't retract it all the way, we're going to flip it back over. We're going to pull out a bit and hold the recoil down. So you're going to push the rope back in a bit, just so it's loose, using a pick or flat screwdriver. We're going to pull the rope up a little bit. And we're going to give it one more pull all the way around. Now we're going to let it retract the rest of the rope. And there you go. That's it. All done. Let's get this reinstalled, get that carburetor on, and see if this mower will cut some grass. Okay guys, let's get this installed. I took off the extra spring that was on here because, well, there's no throttle anymore. This obviously was upgraded from one with a throttle to one with a primer. So next, make sure that you still have this O-ring in here and the retainer ring. Sometimes they get left over on here. Let's put this guy back on. First things first, take off the 1/2-inch screw in this 10 mil. Now can hook in governor control. There we go. Make sure it opens and closes the correct direction. Get the breather tube on. And put on the intake. Bend this out a bit. So as the engine speed increases, it pushes this vein here, it pushes it out, which will close the throttle. So put in the 10 millimeter to hold it. And now we'll get the retainer bracket and the spacer installed and the 1/2-inch bolt put in. And I'll give it a couple threads by hand. Snug it down by hand and run it down the rest of the way with the gun. $10 mil, run it down slowly. Now snug it up. Good. Next we get the engine shroud on. These are also 10 mil. It's not all the way down. I'm just running them down a little bit. This way I can adjust it a bit as I go along. And don't end up pinching any wires that are important, such as the spark plug wire. Now the last one back here. Now we give it a quick zap down. And one more. There we go. And then finally, we get the air filter. There we go. Just like that. No, it doesn't go like this. It doesn't need to be aerodynamic. It's compact. I think it's funny to see how many people actually install this backward. Put the gas cap on. Now the last thing left for this mower is an oil change. So I'm just going to lift it up, crack the bottom bolt open, the drain plug, so we can drain the oil from this, and then I'll put some in. Because believe it or not, I found a bottle of Briggs and Stratton engine oil for this. And it's the perfect amount for this mower. All right, let's tilt the mower up. All right, so I guess first thing, let me get this bolt off so that I can get all the rope off. I believe that's a 5/8. And I was right, 5/8. Make sure the plug's unplugged when you do this. Can't even get the bolt out. There we go. Now I'll just take this blade off to be sharpened and balanced. Let's see if we can get this rope off. Yeah, that's not going to come off there. Gotta watch that oil seal. Don't want to damage it with the screwdriver. And there'll be a whole other load of problems. There we go. Whole lot of crap still in here, but it's not as bad as it was before. We pressure washed it. Get my little drain pan under there. Let me just put this in its container. We'll take the oil drain out the rest of the way. There we go. Now let's just tilt it down so I don't make a mess. This should only take a few minutes to drain this way. Then I put the drain plug back in. Let me just get my ratchet, and so that doesn't fall in. There we go. That's all snugged up. We'll actually snug it down to 70 inch-pounds. And there we go. 70 inch-pounds. Perfect. And we get rid of the oil. Quite nice and black. Yummy. Don't see any metallic bits in it, so that's a good sign. Okay, let's lower down the lawnmower. And we'll fill it up with oil. And then gasoline. And we'll try it out. Now to fill it up with oil. Try to get the dipstick tube out. Really tight to the mower. There, so we can read it easier when the oil's in. All right, let's get this oil opened. Yeah, we use a Champion spark plug. Good enough. Likely take the whole bottle. Oops. Right, I don't make a mess. There we go. Now we'll check it. It says to thread in to check. Come on, thread. We're right on the fill mark. We are right on the full mark. Perfect. Let's go outside, put some fuel in it, and cut some grass. All right, guys, we're outside. And all we need to do now is add some fuel and try to start it. Let's do it. This is the fuel that was in the tank before. I'm just going to pour it back in. I've already siphoned off all the water. All right, so we prime 3 times. Oh, I can feel it. I'm gonna give it 1 more. Okay, 2 more. And let's fire it up. Let's try it again. Good. Now let's put the spark plug on. We'll prime it again. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, she just shut off. Wonder why she just shut off. Not a good sign. Let's try it again. It actually shut off as a tail slip. I'm just going to get that throttle spring and reinstall it. Let me shut it down and get that spring. Come here for a second. The problem is actually this spring right here. If you see, there's no tension at all. So the governor is able to basically almost close it all the way. I'm going to put this spring onto here where it's supposed to be. The only thing different is that I did take this one off of here. So the simplest solution would be just to reinstall this spring here. And if that's the case, then let's just do that. And we'll try it again. Instead of monkeying around with the other spring, just leave it alone. The other spring was there. Just put it back. Try it again. And what the heck. Alright, no priming this time. Hopefully we don't need it. We try it now. Now it's running better. Beautiful. Alright, let's see if I've got some grass. So there we go, guys. It's running perfect. Absolutely no issues. Sharpen the blade, nicely balanced. Very little vibration out of this little mower. Don't know why someone got rid of it. All I did was change the diaphragm and gasket in the carburetor and give it a little bit of a cleaning. Not sure, guys. This is a weird one, but hey, free lawnmower is a free lawnmower. All right, guys. See you in the next one. I know. Hold on. 1 second. Yeah, safety first. Bye, guys.